everybody, my name is Abigail and this is my Math and Arts integrated lesson. For this lesson, I chose a pretty simple mathematical concept. It's just the 4 basic operations: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. And my art form is visual art. So I have it right here to show you. I chose the comic strip art form. So for this assignment, kids are going to take a math story that they come up with one of the 4 operations that I just mentioned, and they are going to tell that math story in a comic. So drawings and dialogue are the tools for this assignment. And I think that this is a really great assignment. It's very adaptive. I think it's great for several reasons. For one, it gets kids kind of away from word problems, which is how they most commonly see math stories. But word problems, like the rote just drill and practice, get really redundant and kind of boring for kids. They aren't super engaged. But kids also might not have the writing skills yet, especially the younger grades, pre-K, kindergarten, even 1st grade. They may not be able to write their own word problems, so that writing skill might not even be there for them to do that a little more creatively. Or if you have special education students in your class, English learning students in your class, they might not have the vocabulary to write their own word problem. But as we talked about in this class, art is really that universal language. They're going to understand the art that they put on the paper, and they're going to get engaged with that to learn the math. With the art here, they also get to draw their own context for the math. So it will be culturally relevant. It will be important and real for them because they'll draw what they know. They'll draw it in the context of their own lives. So they're guaranteed to be more engaged with it and really actually care about the math. A final reason that I think this one's particularly great for younger kids is that they're going to write the math problem through this dialogue here, which means they're going to write it the way that they would say it. So they're not going to get lost in keywords or academic language in a formal word problem that maybe they don't understand yet. They're going to write it the way they say it, and it will help them translate that math into the formal word problems when they get there. It'll kind of bridge that gap. So I'm going to get a little closer here so you guys can see my comic. So as you see here, we have 2 friends, and our first friend over here says, "Wow, 12 cookies, do you think I could have a couple?" And her buddy says, "Sure, if I give you 5 of my 12 cookies, how many would I have left?" So we see that math problem coming in here. And then she gives the answer, "You'll have 7 cookies left." And then he says, "Great, if I only eat 1 a day, my 7 cookies will last me a whole week." So as you can see, I even threw in a little division down there at the bottom. He divides his 7 cookies into 7 days in a week, and he has the division along with the subtraction up here in the top panel. And that's kind of goes to show you that this is really adaptive to you, your students, and your classroom. So if you're a pre-K kindergarten teacher and your kids really just don't have these writing skills yet, just let them draw the problem and then tell it to you. Or maybe they draw it and then they act it out to you. You know, the comic can kind of be a base if they don't have those writing skills yet. Now, if they do, then these can become much more complex. I just have a 3-panel comic here, but you could find 7, 10, 12 panels on a sheet. You could have kids staple these sheets together so that they're like comic books. There are comic book softwares online that teachers can use for free, kind of paid for by their school. And so your kids could actually go online and have a virtual comic book. And they can also focus on, much more complex mathematical concepts than what I talked about here. This could be about geometry. This could go into more depth with the operations. You could talk about functions, talk about graphing. Any way that the kids can see to manipulate the math to make sense for their story, it can be put in here. So it's really super individualized for your kids, and I just think it's a really fun way to express the math and find a way for the math to make sense for your kids, which is really what it's all about. So I hope you guys enjoyed this presentation. I hope you guys are a little maybe inspired by the comic here to try something like this in your own classroom one day, and I just hope you guys have a great day.